Gizzo, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business. And listen, you can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in, so let's get right into it. And Big U, you are the topic of discussion, my G. Big U, you are the topic of discussion, my G. So let's get right into it. Now listen, anytime I do a video about Nip Hustle, anytime I do a video about Nipsey the Great, I always get a big response, especially on YouTube. But not just YouTube. My DMs, my inboxes go crazy. My DMs and my inboxes go crazy with people asking multiple different questions. You feel what I'm saying? And I take my time, just like the comments. I take my time and I go through. You feel what I'm saying? I like to be engaged with the people. I'm tapped in, just like I tell y'all to tap in. Now, one of the questions that stuck out to me, and it wasn't even really a question, it was just more, GMB, can you elaborate more on how Big U was involved in Nipsey Hussle's death? Can you go a little more in depth? You understand what I'm saying? Now, this is what you got to know. I'm not from LA. I've been to LA a few times, but I'm not from LA. So the information I know is public record. I'm just, connecting the dots. You know what I'm saying? I'm just connecting this dot to that dot to this dot, because it all makes sense and it's right in front of your face. A lot of the times when the higher ups and elites work, they do everything right in front of your face. Yeah, they give you the information and they expecting you not even to be able to put it together. Yeah, and it works like that. So, can I go in depth about Big U? Yes. So you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? We coming from multiple different angles. Yeah, we coming from multiple different angles, my G. You already know how we do. And that leads me and segues me into my first angle. Big U's movements after the death of Nipsey Hussle. Now let me dig into that a little bit. Now, as soon as Nipsey Hussle got killed, it wasn't long before people started pointing the finger at Big U. They didn't know exactly how he was involved, but, anybody with some brain and some sense knew that Big U had something to do with this. So they started pointing the finger, right? And if you notice, Big U went on this big press run. He went on this big press run where he was going to all the major outlets, all the, syndicate programs, doing interviews all about Nip Hustle with people asking him questions. And he went all around saying, hey, me and Nipsey Hussle was cool. I gave Nipsey his only award. Nipsey Hussle came to my award show and we were awarded him. We honored him. You feel what I'm saying? Now, me and Nipsey Hussle had a little, situation back in the day, but we fixed that. And we was the best of friends. And Nipsey had just got on the phone with me and told me, OG, come out with me. Come on tour with me. You understand what I'm saying? And, he had all these different excuses and all these different explanations on why he couldn't have had anything to do with Nip Hustle being murdered, being killed on Crenshaw and Slauson, right? And in these interviews, if you go back now and watch his posture, watch his hand movements, watch how he talks, look past the smoke and mirrors, you can see that this is PR. This is public relations. Somebody's telling him, Big U, if you don't go out there and speak, man, people are going to turn against you. It wasn't because him and Nip Hustle was just the best of friends. It wasn't because him and Nip Hustle was just so tight. Nah, this was a PR run. You understand? And that was the first red flag for me. The first red flag for me was watching Big U go on different outlets, talking and explaining himself. Now, if you know who Big U is, he's the head of that little situation over there. He's the head of the Crip, Rolling 60. This is public information. You know what I'm saying? This is already documented, well documented. So for the head of the Rolling 60 Crip to have to go and do different interviews explaining himself about Nip was very telling. And if you watch him and you watch his mannerisms, you can see something's going on. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen, you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV, man. We coming from multiple different angles, man. We coming from multiple different angles. You feel what I'm saying? And that segues me into my second angle. That segues me into my second angle. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go back. That's the DP, the discipline that he had to give Nip. You understand what I'm saying? Now again, if you go back and you watch it, and I got it wrong on the other video, it was not the marathon, it was the marathon continues. You understand what I'm saying? If you go back and you listen to a song called You Don't Have a Clue, you will hear Nip directly talking to Big U. He doesn't say his name. You understand? But he's sending so many subliminal messages at Big U that Big U knew he was being spoken to, and he felt like he had to discipline Nipsey. He felt like he had to put hands on Nipsey. And not only that, Nipsey was dealing with a female out there in the hood that they, word is that he, she might have got pregnant. Something might have happened. Her and Nipsey got into a physical altercation. You understand what I'm saying? And that female was family of Big U as well. So now think about you got this song out saying you don't have a clue of what you want to do. I'm busy getting rich. You think that I'm going to stop for you, right? On top of having a physical altercation with one of the females in Big U's family. Big U comes to Crenshaw and Slauson, comes to the Marathon store to discipline Nipsey Hussle. They get into a physical altercation. Black Sam says, nah, I'm not having it. He pulls the strap and everything goes left from there. This is well-documented information. And it's very important information. You understand? Because it's letting you know that it was rocky between him and Nip. It was rocky. They were not best friends. They were not doing business. You understand what I'm saying? It was getting spooky actually between the two. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to be able to draw back on these things and pull the information and see through the smoke and mirror when you're talking about it. This is just strictly about Big U. Yeah. Big U. Now listen, you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV, man. We coming from multiple different angles. We coming from multiple different angles. And that segues me into my third angle. And that's Nipsey Hussle becoming bigger than the program. I said this before, but you cannot become bigger than the program when it comes to the gangs in LA. They have a saying, nobody is bigger than the program. Nobody is bigger than the program. And one thing that was happening with Nipsey Hussle, he had become bigger than the program. He had become 100 times bigger than the program. So much so that everybody outside of the loop, everybody outside of LA was viewing Nipsey Hussle as King Crip, the head of the Crips. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? And like I said before, Big U wanted the fame. He didn't want to just, play the background and be the big homie. He wanted to have a label. He wanted to, be in the forefront. He wanted to be known as the Crips, so much so that he was letting people know that he felt like Nipsey was rapping about his life. Come on, my G. All these things show the animosity building up. All these things show the jealousy building up when it comes to Big U and Nipsey Hussle. You understand what I'm saying? So for him to do that press run and act like everything was sweet was a red flag. It was a red flag. When you become bigger than the program, you have to be outed. You have to be taken out. You feel what I'm saying? Because if you become bigger than the program, then what's the program's worth? Nipsey was the one that was going to merge all the gangs. Let me explain something to you. When Nipsey was killed, they drove him through every hood, every Crip hood, every Blood hood, every Damu hood, every gang hood. His body was drove through because they recognized that he was going to be the glue to stop the wars. He was going to be the glue to stop what's going on in LA right now. Yeah. And it's a lot of people, it's a lot of higher ups and elites that saw that and recognize that they could not have it because it's all about capitalism. It's all about money. So if you stop the war then, you know, we don't have gang violence, then, you know, a lot of people are going to be out of jobs. A lot of people are going to get cut short hours. We need, the higher ups and elites need you guys to continue to kill each other. That's how they get funding. That's a whole nother video. But Nipsey was the glue. It's a reason why he was drove through every hood. It's a reason why the 8 Trays and everybody else was able to come to Crenshaw and Slauson when he was murdered. Yeah, it gets deep and it gets wicked. It gets deep and it gets wicked, man. Listen, you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV, man. We coming from multiple different angles. My G, we coming from multiple different angles. And that segues me into my 4th angle. That segues me into my 4th angle. And that's the OG that lured Nipsey Hussle to the Marathon store to get those clothes on the day he was murdered. I can't think of his name. But this is about the OG that lured Nipsey Hussle to the store on the day he was murdered. If you remember correctly, Nipsey Hussle was at his grandma's house. Nipsey Hussle was asleep. He got a phone call that broke his sleep. You feel me? And somebody told him on the phone, yo, Nip, OG just got out from doing 20 years. He gonna shoot up to the store, you know what I'm saying, to get some clothes from the Marathon store. You know, OG Crip, OG Rolling 60 Crip. He gonna come to the Marathon store. We need you to lace him. Nipsey hopped up, threw on that white tee and them shorts, and went up to the Marathon store. You understand? Now, when Eric Holder, when Shitty Cuz shot Nipsey down, when he did what he did to Nip, he didn't just shoot Nip, he actually shot somebody else. If you remember, it was somebody else that was caught a couple of bullets and they crawled up under the car. This was an OG Rolling 60 Crip that had just got out of jail and was up there to get clothes. Is it a coincidence? Nothing's a coincidence. This guy actually went back to jail after doing 20 years. He gets shot right next to Nipsey Hussle. And because he was next to an active gangbanger, that violated his parole and his probation, and he went right back to jail. But what you guys didn't know is that Big U went down, pulled strings, and got this man out of jail. Big U went down, pulled strings, and got him out of jail. And ever since that OG's been out of jail, we have not heard anything. He has not done any interviews. This is the guy that got shot right next to Nipsey Hussle. He's directly under, or has, you know, he's connected to Big U. He hasn't done any interviews. He hasn't explained what he saw. Imagine this. He's standing right next to Nip when he's taken out. This guy would be prime real estate for interviews, for talk shows, for radios. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a reason why Big U moved so frantically to get him out of jail. Because you got to understand this, right? You got to understand this. The longer he would have been in custody, the more likely he would have started to talk. Let me say that one more time. The more time this OG, who just did 20 years, stayed in custody, more likely he would have been talking. And he would have started exposing exactly what he knew and exactly what he saw. Now, again, Big U, he didn't waste any time on getting this man out of jail and silencing him. I'm sure he got paid off, and I'm sure that money silenced that guy. Think about, now, anybody want to do their research? Anybody want to find out this OG's name? Yeah. Why hasn't he spoken out? I mean, if Nipsey Hussle was, you know, everybody loved him. If Nipsey Hussle was such prime real estate, if Nipsey Hussle was such friends with everybody, Big U, why hasn't this guy started talking? Why has this guy been, you know, MIA ever since he caught those bullets standing next to Nip? This is the closest person to Nip when he was taken out, and we've heard nothing. And that's because Big U silenced OG. Big U went in, got him out, and silenced OG. You feel what I'm saying? Now, it gets deep, bro. And it gets wicked. It's a reason. Why would Big U just go get this OG and talk to his people and pull strings? Because he's in tune and he's intertwined with the higher ups and the elites out there in Cali. You understand? Now that's going to lead me to my... Listen, you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. We coming from multiple different angles. Multiple different angles, my G. And that segues me into my fifth and final angle when it comes to Big U. My fifth and final angle. You understand what I'm saying? And that's Big U being in line with the higher ups and elites. You understand? Now, let's get into it. Nipsey Hussle had the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson. If you don't know how valuable that is, do your research. King Crip, a Rolling 60 Crip, owned the corner of Crenshaw and Slauson. First and foremost, that would show all the other gang members that they can start owning their hood. That plants the seed in them. Man, we can start owning our hood. We can start buying up this property. Let's do it, right? That was the first sign. You understand what I'm saying? Now, multiple people wanted that corner. I'm talking about investors. I'm talking about developers. Yeah, higher ups and elites. A lot of Russians, a lot of these people and those people, you understand what I'm saying, that wanted that corner. But with Nipsey having so much fame and notoriety, with Nipsey just growing so rapidly, you couldn't just Martin Luther King Nipsey Hussle. You understand what I'm saying? And then again, Nipsey being connected to Big U, Nipsey being an investment of Big U, you could not just take him out. It had to be strategic. Now, somebody reached out to Big U because Shitty Cuz would not have ever pulled the trigger on a Nipsey Hussle. He would have never pulled the trigger on a Nipsey Hussle without the stamp of a Big U. Without Big U saying, don't worry about your family. When you handle this business, your mama, your cousins, everybody will be all right. I'm not going to step on them. I'm not going to step on them. And you won't be ousted out the gang. You'll still be involved. You won't be kicked out. You won't be DP'd. Trust me, Big U, when it comes to the Rolling 60 Crip, is bigger than the LAPD. Yeah, it gets deep and it gets wicked. So with the higher ups and the elites wanting that property, they had to reach out to somebody that can make that happen and make it look like a gang murder. Think about that. I've said this before. Anytime they say black on black crime, it instantly gets swept under the rug. Anytime it's gang violence, it instantly gets swept under the rug. Anytime it's suicide, it's instantly swept under the rug. Instantly. Hey man, it was gang violence. Well, you know how them guys do. They shoot each other, kill gang members, and we just gonna move on. Hey, black on black crime. You know how those niggas do, man. They kill each other and we just gonna move on. So it had to be strategically drawn out. He had to be killed by a rival or a member of his own gang. And the only person that could make that happen was Big U. They reached out to Big U. Big U somehow now is into the money. He has a big house on the hill. Yeah, he has a big house on the hill. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody secretly tried to pay for Shitty Cuz lawyer. Secretly. The higher ups and elites, they knew that we got to get in tune. We can't just MLK Nipsey Hussle. We got to get it. We got to strategically line it up. And that's where Big U comes into play. Now, last but not least, look at it's multiple videos of Big U laughing at Nipsey Hussle after he was murdered, making fun of him, saying sarcastic things about Nipsey Hussle after he was killed. But this is your friend. This is somebody that you cared about. This is somebody that was in line with you. This is somebody that you honored. Nah. And I'm going to tell you, man, I'm going to keep stepping on y'all when it come to Nip. I'm not going to stop stepping on y'all when it come to Nip. It's a lot of bloggers that made, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, reporting on Nip's death. But they don't talk about Nip no more. And that's why the case is being drawn out. That's why the case is still being drawn out, because year after year, they feel like y'all going to get more docile and more docile when it comes to NIP. But no, we not stopping. Foot on your neck. So you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business. And listen, you can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. I suggest you tap into this grown man business. I suggest you tap into this grown man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick and to the bottle. Straight raw, pure, uncut. No extras, no preservatives. We not giving it, we not sugarcoating nothing, and we ain't dressing nothing up. Big U. We giving it to you straight raw. Straight raw. And I will forever step on y'all necks when it come to NIP for how y'all did him out there in Cali. Forever step on your necks. If you want to rewind the video, man, go back through. But it is what it is, Big U. It is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? I don't care about none of the extras. I don't care about none of the extras. This is real talk. And this is Grown Man Business TV. So you already know what it is. It's your boy, Grown Man Business. And listen, you can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in.